Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the ETN Global Digitalisation webinar series. My name is Nicolò Cairo, Project Officer at ETN Global. And today we're going to have the second episode of our digitalization webinar series, where we have two presenters from Uniper, Imthiyas Manarikk, M&D engineer from Uniper, and Craig Walker, who will join a bit later, who is head of digital evolution and gas turbine fleet at Uniper. So today's webinar will be focused on Uniper specific solutions when it comes to the digital transformation and monitoring in the fleets of gas turbines. We'll start with a first presentation of Imthiyas on towards intelligent condition monitoring, a framework for the next generation vibration and combustion analytics. And later on, we will move with a presentation of Craig on the digital journey of Uniper. So with this, I would like to officially start the webinar. Do you hear me correctly? I do see a message in the chat. Okay, thank you, Michael. So I am going now to share the screen and give the floor to Imthiyas for his presentation. Let me know if you see the screen. Imthiyas, the floor is yours.
Okay, thanks, Nicolo. So I'm Imthiyas. I work as a monitoring and diagnostics engineer at Uniper. I joined Uniper 2023 December. Before that, I was working for renewables, wind turbines, condition monitoring. So today I'm going to present the topic towards intelligent condition monitoring framework for the next generation vibration and combustion analytics. This is a case study presentation with a proposal of framework for one of our GT fleet in Netherlands, the Uniper Leiden. And the case study that I have chosen is for aeroderivative gas turbine for Leiden GT2. Okay, next one. Cool. Okay. Can you guys hear me clearly, or am I breaking up?
I do hear you.
Okay. So as we all know,
breaking up slightly. It's like some is I don't know, low quality is distorted. Yes, a bit.
Okay. Right. Okay. I'll turn off my video. Let's see. How about now?
Yeah. Can you try?
Okay. So as we all know that the blade loss in a gas turbine could be catastrophic. So a sudden blade damage or a loss in a fraction of a second could cost millions of pounds or dollars for a energy company, and it also poses risk in terms of safety. So there are lots of monitoring gaps currently. So we miss a lot of vibration anomalies or transient behaviors like this because of the low frequency thresholds that we work on. So it should be reactive, not predictive. And this could be a time that we could work together to develop something intelligent and something edge-based monitoring. Yeah. Okay, next one. Okay, so I will go through the failure sequence briefly. So in Leiden GT2, we had multiple failed restarts. So 4 to 5 attempts have been made, and it tripped between 6,000 to 7,000 RPM. This is a 10,000 RPM machine. It's LM2500 plus from GE. No vibration alarm has been triggered during the event. Levels has been really low, so we didn't have any indication. However, the only clue that we had for the operations were balancing piston pressure spike during the event. So during the RCA, we found out many of the blades have been liberated from stage 13. A couple of blades have been liberated from stage 13, and it's migrated, and then it caused the damage to other components as well. And we found out it's a high cycle fatigue. However, we still haven't found the cause yet. No clear combustion anomalies have been found, such as EGTs increased or inlet temperature anomalies, etc. So, and also there was no vibration alarm triggered in DCS as well. Okay, next one. Okay, so from the monitoring perspective, this is what we have seen during the event. So on the top left, you can see the ACM of Uniper, which is an advanced condition monitoring software that we use since last 20 years in Uniper. This is actually working based on machine learning algorithms in terms of KNN, and it has shown a clear increase. And on the right side, we've seen a vibration increase of a couple of vibration increase on one of the measurement points. So this is all VMS, we call it. It's an online vibration monitoring system of Uniper. And on the bottom left, you can see the combustion analytics, which we haven't seen spotted anything, which is very obvious because when you have a blade loss or loss of mass, you don't expect to see a big change or anomalies in combustion because it's more thermal than mechanical. However, the blade loss events or loss of mass sometimes could give spikes in combustion because it disturbs the flow in the combustion isn't it? So yeah, that's it. Next one. Okay, so this is one of the logic that could overcome single source blind spots. So how the vibration and combustion could work together. So we can see it's a dual signal streams. So we begin by monitoring two signal sources, combustion pressure, typically from pressure transducers, and roll vibration, usually from the casing or blade mounted accelerometers. And the next one is we actually measure the FFTs for both. So both signals undergoes the FFT, but for slightly different goals. So first one measures the pressure data, which could be analyzed for blade pass frequency components. So the deviation could actually indicate combustion flow disturbances in here. And the vibration side, data could be examined for blade harmonic spikes, which could actually tell us the mechanical imbalance or looseness, etc. Then we can go to the decision part. If the combustion signal shows a deviation at blade frequency, and the vibration shows a spike at the related harmonic level, then we should go to then we can go for a CSPD cross spectral analysis. So this could actually check the phase and coherence of the both indicators, and then we can make a final decision whether we should alert the issue or not. In this case, in the case that I have shown you guys, combustion did not show anything. So this could be a good one to show what is the real, what is happening, and whether we should alert the site, the operations or not. Next, please. Okay, so this is the framework that I think that could be a good strategy to tackle this type of failures. So before we dive into the framework, I'd like to briefly talk through this. So as a part of this working group's objective to shape the future of gas turbines, condition monitoring, particularly around vibration and combustion, this framework could be used for future development. So let's start with the let's start from the bottom where the data originates. So we begin with three sensor categories. So vibration sensors for mechanical health, pressure sensors to track the combustion dynamics, and the combustion sensors like flame detectors or emission monitors, etc., to check instability early stage. So then we can move on to the intelligent processing at the edge. This layer handles the real-time data before it's sending to the cloud. So on the vibration side, we apply high-frequency vibration analytics like wavelet transform. The wavelets are very good at showing these spurious spikes, the energy disturbances, etc. So for pressure combustion side, we apply dynamic data fusion. Obviously, we need this because these are the operational parameters to track the RPM and pressure. And the next stage is the cloud, or we can also say digital twin. This is where the broader context and learning comes in the framework. So once we process the data feeds into the cloud, and then it works along with the HCF simulation, which represents a physics-based model layer to simulate stress of the components, life consumption, etc. And then we do a fleet-wide machine learning. Obviously, we are not interested only on one asset, but we wanted to diversify into all assets. So all assets can talk to each other and what's happening on different GTs. And then based on that machine learning model, we can actually alert the site. So early alerts that are precise and low, and that are false positives. That's the objective. And then we can do RCA as well. We can tie this in terms to possible causes, and also we can go for the maintenance recommendations. So why this framework serves this group, this digitalization group? Because we believe this is a layered approach. So blending the edge AI, physical simulation, and fleet-wide machine learning could be a good architecture how digitalization can actually source the actual turbine data and how we can do further machine diagnostics and real-time alerts, etc. Okay, next one. So I repeat, RCA did not find any cause, but we know it's a high cycle fatigue. So where should we prioritize our efforts? Thank you. Any questions?
Thank you, Imthiyas. Thank you for your presentation. So I propose we open now the floor for any questions or comments you may have. You can raise your hand and speak. I'm just going to allow all the mic. Hello, Craig.
Hey, thank you for allowing me to go second.
Welcome. Are there any questions? If not, I would then suggest we already start with the meeting, with the presentation of Craig, and then we gather those remaining ones. I'm just going to change his slides.
Thank you.
Okay, do you see my screen?
Yes.
Perfect.
Okay.
Thank you, Craig. Floor is yours.
No problem. Will you be driving, or will you
Yes.
move the slides forward? Perfect. Okay, brilliant. So thank you for today. This is less of a technical presentation that you've just seen. It's more about how we've done our digital transformation program, how we've used it to accelerate digital implementation across the gas turbine fleet, and where we're seeing the benefits and where we see it moving forward. To give you some context, we originally had a fleet strategy where we had a separate team as a project, a 3-year project, where they were employed basically a team of DevOps, so the typical coders, that suggestions from site and innovation from site would come to the DevOps team. They would build it and digitally create these new products, and then we built this app store. One of the problems with that approach was you relied on sites to go and look for the apps in the store to share best practices. Also, you needed the culture and the people skills to be able to do that. So what we came up with is this digital fleet strategy around these 3 pillars. So as well as a digital use case, so that technical solution, I also looked at people and culture. Now with people, what's their mindset? What's the skill set? How can we best utilize their skills in their job and reduce the non-value added stuff? So it's about automation of tasks, enhancing digital skills, encouraging digital innovation, promotion from the people who are actually doing the job, have it focused on our customers and our business partners. And basically we fostered this concept of each site having digital champions and building this digital community across the sites for best practice sharing. Next one. There's a few, you can go right through the animation on this one.
Okay, yes.
Yeah,
I
no problem.
The cursor.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like, yeah, perfect. Super. And with culture, this is, as I say, was about encouraging collaboration, building change readiness, so people understood why they needed, why digital evolution would help them do the job, and it wasn't something else on top. So, answer the question, what's in it for me? Because ultimately, that's what people want to know. They want a simpler life. Adopting some of the agile working methods, so this whole daily huddles or check-ins and 2-week sprints, so we can build the digital solutions incrementally, not wait for months and months for them, and also have SMEs or product owners at site that could steer the development of that, and rather than having a DevOps person designing something, they had no real idea of what it was trying to do within that. And the next one, please. And use case. Well, this is the ones you'll be up to. How do we get data in one place, one source of truth, make it efficient, make sure the user experience of any digital solutions are really good, so that it really captures that almost addiction to using that or seeing the benefit of using that. Also helps to communicate clearly and consistently across there. And the solutions must be adaptable across the fleet wherever possible. So it's not just spending a lot of money building one solution for one site. Actually, scalability is where we see the value across the GT fleet within that. Next one, please. So I spent a lot of time, because at the time it was just myself and a working student traveling across all of our 9 clusters of sites. So at the time we were in Sweden, Netherlands, UK and Germany, and basically understanding what the current status is. So I did a heat map or as is analysis to see what existing products were they already using and how well were they using them. I also did a process diagnostics consultation with them to look at all the processes that are used across a plant, from plant startup to maintenance to health and safety to environmental reporting, and seeing where the digital opportunities were on there. And then I designed a digital maturity assessment to measure against a standard across these three pillars here: use case, people, and culture, and to see where the best opportunities were on there. That was then followed up by an ideation workshop with the sites for them to come up with their new ideas of where it wasn't just sat in one column, but it covered all three of these columns and categories within there. And what we've done is across all but two sites, sorry about that, across all but two sites, we've now got these 3-year transformation plans. And we're working with the other two sites to build their three-year transformation plan. They're also putting them into their business plans as well. So we're being measured against delivery within that. And ADCAR, as you're seeing it's just a new program we've engaged with of how we do change management. So a little bit like Kotter's 8 steps, but this is an acronym about awareness, decisiveness, building knowledge, building acumen, and then measuring how well it's been implemented and realised its actual benefits within that. Next slide, please. So underpinning all of those use cases, what we've also done is built a site-based database, which is the case infrastructure picture you can see on the left. So it gives a high-level view of what the goal is, what the activity is, and what the description is. And then as part of that ideation workshop, we put that into a needs benefits matrix to understand where the quick wins were, where were the step changes, and put them into that 3-year plan within that. Then once we prioritized the ones for this year, we built a number of activity cards. So it was a more detailed view of each use case. So who was a site rep, who was actually going to be building it from a technical point of view, what were the implementation steps, what was the actual value of that, and the cost associated with developing it. And these are just examples just for this presentation, because some of it was data we weren't allowed to share. But if we want a separate conversation after this, that's okay. Next one. So after the workshops, what we quickly came up with is over 200 new ideas. We thought we'd, over the last 3 years, bottom out all the ideas. Actually, we came up with over 200 ideas in total, and more are coming from Ingolstadt and Kirkmoser. So here you can see out the activities where the quick wins and step changes were. Now, you may note that they don't add up to the number of activities. Some of those ideas we've parked for now because we're not sure the value of them. So, but you can see 2/3 or maybe 3/4 of the new ideas are actively put into a plan of some are quick wins where it's low effort but high reward, where some of them need more effort but it's equally as high reward, and there are going to be more step changes within there. And what we've done, which we can't show, is the potential value of those programs now moving forward. And some of the key areas we're looking at is added value, as in where can we extract more value from the market. Other ones are how do we protect the business plan so we stop the plants tripping. Some of that obviously with Imthiyas that you meant, that was a partner in crime that was on before. Other things are reducing repetitive tasks so people can do their job better. Also, they'll feel better, and also having a more modern power plant with all the latest tech, if you like, would be more attractive to new talent coming through, rather than seeing power station operators walking around with a clipboard and paper, and not rather than a simple a tablet or something like that. So really enhancing digital techniques and digital solutions to attract the new generation coming through as well within that. The next one, please. So this for the non-Uniper people, basically our asset conference early in this year, we had to prioritize where Uniper was going to drive its assets and what were the key areas. And within our gas turbine fleet, these are sort of our 6 key pillars or big rocks, as we call it, of how we can improve our fleet going forward. And we concentrated in these three columns with the 6 pillars within there. So what I did was then took the fleet view of these ideations. So all these workshops we're doing across the sites, there was a lot of common issues or ideas that would be applicable to the fleet. And so what we did is we identified those fleet opportunities and then mapped them against where our business big rocks or big business priorities were to make sure they fitted. If they didn't fit, why are we doing them? So it made us really do a sense check of, was this really adding value to where we want to drive the fleet? But also, were there any gaps? And as you can see, we've got gaps on the right of where we're talking about moving into the green world and decarbonisation of Uniper, where, not surprisingly, we've got less digital solutions heading that way at the existing assets moving forward. Okay, next one. So one of my team members actually put this into Pareto as well, so we could see where the biggest value was across that, and also map them against our performance board as well, so we can measure them, use KPIs to see and measure how effective these individual use cases were as well. And as you can see, we've tried to map them people and culture on here as well. People and cultural use cases, as well as the digital solutions on there, just to see where that value was and give us an opinion. The other thing, when we went with this digital strategy, it was key. I was discussing whether I went down the OE route I've done in the past and did a lighthouse approach, or did we do another approach? And talking with my director, I report to, we agreed we go with the peloton effect. And what we really mean by that is, you know, the Tour de France, where they have a lead rider who then leads with something, and then after a while they'll drop back and somebody else leads. We wanted to use that as a metaphor where sites could take a lead on a product and solution, help implement it, help share the best practice and the why, and then they would drop back. And then another site would lead with something. And it's taken a while for us to get there, but this year we've now seen plant managers going, yep, let's just go with what they've done. If we need to adapt it a little bit, let's do that. Where before we may have seen it's not done here, it can't be done here, it's a different country. So we're now seeing that culture across the fleet. So this is helping with the accelerating the digital transformation. And as I mentioned, now that's now just a visual really on what some of the typical products or digital solutions that sites are taking a lead on, and other sites are actively waiting for a solution where they're going to adopt it. And the best salespeople for me are the ones using the product. So it's not me going around to plant managers, it's plant managers talking to plant managers and their staff. So that's really, really helping accelerating the best practice sharing. And I think that is it. Thank you. It wasn't very technical. I meant it on that because this was a high level discussion on how we've driven digital transformation rather than the technical solutions within there. There are some examples of the technical solutions. If anybody does want to talk about them, I can give you some examples. But yeah, the floor's open.
Thank you, Craig, also for presenting this. We're giving this presentation on the Uniper route towards digitalization and the work you have been doing within the organization. So we already have a question from Michael, who would like to ask 1 or 2 examples directly from you, Craig.
Yep. So two examples, sorry, of the solutions that we've come up with, or Michael, is that what you meant?
Yeah, that's right. You had offered to share 1 or 2 more technical aspects. So I'm just curious.
Yeah, so for example, each month we have a monthly performance dialogue that traditionally was done in PowerPoint. It took 2 or 3 people a week to collate all this data every month. So it'd be HSSE data, it would be value-added data, finance, operational data, project updates, and compliance data. So it's taken a long time to put it into a PowerPoint, which then was delivered. So we had 9 sites doing that. We also had to do a technical one to our COO as well. So that then took us a load of time. And so what I did is use Power BI, me personally, it was the team really, that used Power BI to automate build these PowerPoints into Power BI, automating the data. So we had our data in Snowflake, Azure Snowflake, where we then extract the data from that and automatically populate the Power BI reports on there. I can actually share one with you if that's needed. But basically, that reduced all the repetitive activities to produce that report. It automated it, so it was there every month in a timely manner. It also stopped the conversation of where's the data come from, so it gave us one source of truth. So the only additions we needed to do every month then is tell the story, because every month it was different. But then sites would just update the narrative around those Power BI reports. So that saved a lot of time and effort. And that's one of our quick wins. The other one is, which is still currently in progress, is our management of change program. So traditionally, you've got a policy and a local interpretation depending on the country, but every site was doing it differently, and their interpretation of the policy and the local procedure was slightly different. Some had it on paper, some had an Excel sheet. So what we did was adopted a digitized way of doing it using Power BI again and Power Apps that we copied from one of our gas storage sites that had done it there. We copied that and adapted it to our site. Now, again, they've got one focused digital solution. It's fully auditable, so you can see who's made what decision. It's got the 3 levels of change that our policy states, so like for like, low risk, high risk, and it can see a complete end-to-end flow of information and how they've implemented the management change and how they've complied with the policy, because the digital product drives people to follow the policy within that.
Thank
Michael,
you.
Does that work, Michael?
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. And if you want some demo of those products in the future, happy to do another session just to show you what we've done and the benefits of them.
Thank you, Craig, and thank you, Michael. In the meantime, just for you to know that we shared on the chat a Slido questionnaire to improve our webinar series for the future. So we are usually gathering feedback from you so that we incorporate for further activities.
Yeah.
So this is there for your completion. In the meantime, we also received another message from Xi Guang.
Yep.
So would you like to respond, Craig?
Yeah, it's a good one. And it depends on what level you're talking about. So what we've built is our digital compass, which sits in with our skills matrix within there. And it depends on the individual role on there. So we're now encouraging, obviously the basics are there. You want Microsoft on there, but now we're looking at use of Pi, use of SAP training in there, incorporated within there. We're now using some of the tools, the new tools of visualization within Power Apps, Power Automate. A lot of our new stuff, I know we're not insisting on it at present, come with some kind of coding. So we give them an open source or an area where they can go and do some coding and do some programming within the Power BI or the Microsoft area. Copilot's a new one we're encouraging at all levels to be using that in our Microsoft products as well. From actually using it to record meetings, etc. That's easy enough, but it takes someone's time away from doing that manually. Also to go and find information. So we've got a number of many documents stored within Uniper, and we're using Copilot to go and find documents within a regime, and then we've built up our own AI product and we're teaching people how to ask the right questions now. So yeah, I've given a pretty broad answer there, but we are part of the program and use cases about enabling people's skill base and within their own role to be able to use these digital products and enhance them.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
No problem. You're welcome.
We have another question from Michael. Please.
Yeah, thank you. Craig, I'm interested, as you've kind of been on this journey of using digital products and kind of curating your data to kind of surface it and develop insights to get that fleet management view. I'm just wondering, can you share, what maybe one or two things that really surprised you once you could, more easily, more elegantly have that fleet view, and maybe one or two things that it's caused you to change in how you manage your fleet.
I think the one thing that surprised me, and this is cultural, how all the plant managers, and I didn't expect this, just went, yeah, let's run with it. We know it's not going to be perfect, with the monthly performance format, but we'll learn how to use it and give you feedback. Now that was a surprise for me, because been from my old OE days, it used to be a battle sometimes, and people didn't see the value, but they actually trusted me and went with me. So I think that's because I spent a lot of time, and I'm talking 12 to 18 months, building that relationships up with the site, and gaining their trust that there's a benefit for them, that actually will be better. There's a little bit of a hump in the road as they learn a new skill, but that was refreshing from a cultural perspective to see that. I guess from a technical perspective, is there anything that stands out that I can think of? I guess what it's done is it's helped us steer. It used to be dealt with as a presentation, the monthly performance dialogue. So I presented everything, and this is where we're really good. So it was a bit of a not a show and tell, that's wrong, but it was a bit of a presentation rather than performance dialogue. Now what this done is it's made us really focus on where our reds and ambers are. So we can tell some good stories, but actually we focus on the reds. This is what the data is telling us. This is what we're doing about it. This is where the gap is, and this is how we need to close that. So it's enabled a real, what we call a closed loop management system, an automated system where it's actually allowed us to focus on those reds and ambers and feel okay to talk about it and talk about how we're going to pull them together. What was the second question? Sorry, Michael.
Yeah, I kind of asked, kind of what has surprised you about, having these fleet insights, and what has it changed in terms of how you operate the fleet? And I think you kind of answered it in terms of.
I've answered it, yeah. So, yeah, sorry, it wasn't quite in the 2 steps, but I hope that covered it. Yeah. But feel free to contact me if you want me to go through what we've done. Well, with anybody that's an open offer, I'm happy to do that.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. We still have some time for any further questions or comments you may have. Also sharing your experiences, best practices. Jiwang, please.
Yes, I have a question for Imthiyas. So the Uniper, you present condition monitoring using vibration technology. So apart from that, any other condition monitoring are you using to assist the condition monitoring and operation?
Other than vibrations, you mean?
Yeah.
Other than vibrations, we don't do a lot of steps with our advanced condition monitoring tool or VMS. We do site works in terms of thermography and data collection using the CSIs.
Okay, Thank you.
We also have a different team with the performance. They look at the thermodynamic side of it. They optimize the performance of the different fleet, but the parameters of the monitoring is different than us. But within our team, it's just the vibration and thermography.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So still have some minutes. Okay, we have a comment from Chris. So the ACM uses PI data to look at other systems than just vibration.
Sorry. Hi, Craig. Hi, Imthiyas.
Hi, Chris.
I used to have to sell this ACM stuff as well with Craig. So just to give a background, the PI data that we collect from our systems is also used in models to look at performance of the plant. So it's looking at pressures, temperatures, flows, etc., to look at what a standard plant runs like. And then if it notices any differences, it can highlight it in advance that we're having changes in conditions that the site can then act upon. So it's a little bit more than just vibration and thermo. There's some additional data that we use that we can model or that we have modeled on our sites to look at performance and how that can change based on pressures, temperatures, and the rest of it.
Yeah, that's right. Thanks, Chris. So in terms of the condition monitoring perspective, for the mechanical side, we also look at the pressure temperatures data from the PI. That's how the ACM is modeled, and it actually triggers all the anomalies that comes from within that operational data. Thank you.
We do not see any further interaction. There is one. So Rich Harry says, noting the vast array of data across plants and the growing access to artificial intelligence, is there any in-house development or modeling, or are we reliant on suppliers generating new methods and techniques?
I can talk about one project we're doing in collaboration with Loughborough University. Prometheus talks about his, but what we've come up with the concept of trying to stop impossible trips. So the idea is instrument failure, which we know on its own and trip matrix isn't real. Is there some way we can evaluate machine learning or AI to actually be smart enough to be able to predict these instrument failures before they happen, and be able to indicate maybe we could block them out without detriment to the gas turbine unit. It's through the KTP organisation, it's a knowledge transfer partnership that's sponsored by the UK government. Basically, we take on someone at master's or PhD level with the remit working with the university and our data to build a model and move that forward. So we're still in the infancy of that program at the moment. We're only 12 months into that. But yeah, that's one of the things we're exploring within the AI within that area.
Thanks, Craig.
Yes, were you about to add something as well?
No, I was about to talk about the trip prediction as well, which Craig is involved, and my technical head Maury is currently supervising one of the students from Loughborough University. So there are some developments on that. We are currently actually going to test the data from one of our plants called CDC. So yeah.
Yeah. We've also just signed, it was only announced last week, I think it was, a partnership with Microsoft to build AI power plants within there. So they're currently literally looking at, as in last week, 2 use cases at a power plant to look at what AI opportunities may there be and what problems could we solve using AI, and looking for test cases across there as well. So yeah, I mean, AI is the big flavor at the moment. We know that, but it's we need to think about what's the problem we're trying to solve first before we start just throwing AI at everything. My view. Did that help, Rich?
Yeah, and I concur with your comments there about just throwing AI in without understanding what you're trying to fix or solve. I can understand from an operator point of view, we've got vast amounts of historic data, which when put through an AI machine, might give us insights that people and our lack of ability to interrogate that data at that level could have missed. There could be opportunities for better reliability and plant monitoring that we just don't understand that are available already.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
So thank you, Rich, for your comment. We do not see any comments nor in the chat nor any raised hands. So ETN is going also to share with you the presentations in PDF format. They will be uploaded on the website of ETN, along also with the entire recording of this webinar on our YouTube channel. And we would like to thank our presenters, Craig and Imthiyas, and also all of you for attending today's webinar. So with this, we hope to see you again at the upcoming episode, the next episode on digitalization. Thank you very much, and we wish you a good day.